A lot of bad indie flicks would have already ruined this idea. They would have had him pining for her from the minute that she stepped into his life, and that would have made him pathetic and us not like him as much. This movie was smart enough not to do that.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Ghost World is an almost perfect movie. I didn't even think too long about that sentiment before expressing it. I can just feel it. From start to finish, it captivates me, drifting recklessly and unapologetically through its characters' lives. Not many films are capable of doing just that. Some have, don't get me wrong, it's just I can't quite pinpoint why it seems this film manages to do just that in such an honest and approachable and quirky way. Kinda don't like using the word quirky, it's overused, but it's quirky, that's what it is. Now, why is that? Well, for one, this film delivers on many fronts. It has drama, obviously, but growth as well. Conflict, tension, attitude, love, hate, age, indecision, regrets. If you can think of an emotion or a conflicting feeling, this movie probably dips its toe into it. Not only that, it actually still manages to keep an acceptable level of comedy flowing throughout to keep you laughing. Now, the film centers on Enid mostly, not to write off Nora though, her best friend, and it follows a few weeks in their lives after graduation. Now, as the summer progresses, they begin to grow apart, having different visions of what they each want from their futures. And from the very beginning, we see clearly how well these two get along with each other compared to the other groups of girls and things like that.
We have to get together this summer.
Yeah. That'll definitely happen.
Like most teens, they hate their town, dream of a better place, better life, the usual. Corny as it may sound, they have that not like the other girls attitude. It doesn't come off like as lack of character identity in this film though. It's actually part of their identity, or at least Enid's. Now, Enid and Nora have already drifted apart to a degree. Nora seems to recognize it and is even kind of preparing for this. Now, seemingly happy to continue about in her own little world, Enid, however, is content with no real direction, often sketching in her art books weirdos that she sees at a local diner, among other things that catch her attention. She's got talent for sure, but nowhere to go with it. She has very little motivation at that, and when the two aren't hanging out with each other, they end up getting under the skin of a mutual friend, Josh.
What's up, Josh? Hey, give me 2 packs of cigarettes today. Working overtime.
Unable to actually communicate her feelings worth of shit for this dude, we're gonna dance around the idea that she likes him throughout the movie. And I don't really know why. They make a passing reference later to some chick named Becky, and how if Enid expressed her feelings for him, it might upset her. But already, based on what little we know about this character, why would Enid give 2 flying fucks what another girl thinks? That's kind of what I don't understand, but we're getting too heavy already, so. Now, the film really picks up not even 11 minutes in when Enid reads a personal ad, decides to prank call the man who placed it, and she sets up a fake date with the poor guy. Now, she intends only to catch a glimpse of him for a good laugh, probably do a sketch even, but after he shows up and she sits slinking in her seat until he finishes his milkshake, she just feels awful about what she's done. Even worse, when they leave, they start to follow him and they witness him almost have a damn accident, which, you know, all of this is Enid's fault. They actually do follow him home, learn where he lives, and then both she and Nora express how odd it is that poor dude doesn't even seem that upset. Like, this kind of shit just happens to him all the time, and he's so used to it, it doesn't even faze him. It's pretty sad. This is some sort of catalyst for Enid, however, who's never felt this kind of empathy as far as we can tell. Sure as hell never expressed it to our knowledge. Now, the following weekend, she returns and finds him. His name's Seymour. He's having a yard sale with his friend. It's around here where everything starts spiraling out of control in the most awesome of ways. Now, browsing through some old records for sale, she initiates conversation with him out of curiosity, uneasiness, and guilt, I'd imagine, and almost immediately, his quirks start to show.
It's not really for sale. I don't really collect foreign.
Hey, he's just a socially awkward, stiff kind of guy. Now, at the same time, though, it's like Enid can see some part of herself in the poor man, and she's simply drawn to him. Already, she can tell that for all of his oddities, he's sincere, something that most people she comes in touch with her daily lives just aren't. He has a great taste in authentic music, especially old blues. And in fact, he recommends one album in particular to her, which she purchases. Leaving him for now and letting the record fall by the wayside, she meets up with Nora sometime later at the diner, and you can just see their friendship is just continuing to strain and separate.
Oh, here's one.
Nora is job hunting and also makes a recommendation to Enid on how they can have a better shot at actually getting an apartment. That is, maybe if they both dress a little nicer, they'll look like they belong in the neighborhood and won't get written off as immature little teens.
We have to try and convince these people that we're like these totally rich yuppies.
Yeah, so what does Enid do? Well, Wow, you were so cool. Welcome to my experience with Mark Lester's class of 1984. Damn, I was just trying to be funny, but maybe that wasn't the best idea either. Now, later, the two go to hassle Josh as usual, and we get this extra little plot device started here, featuring Norman.
Are you waiting for a bus?
Yes.
Yeah, well, unfortunately for him, Enid spells out some pretty bad news.
They canceled this bus line 2 years ago. There are no more buses on this street.
I see in a lot of movies, this sudden extra little piece of set candy would be like out of place, and you'd be like, what the fuck was the point of that? And to a degree it comes out of nowhere, but this is one of the many things about this movie that I love. We just always sprinkle in something new. There's always something for you to worry about or wonder about.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Now Josh isn't home, so they leave a note, again expressing half-truths to Enid's feelings.
We came by to fuck you, but you were not home.
But it's in such a sarcastic and smart-ass way that Josh wouldn't believe a line of it. And after piddling around town a bit, getting ragged on for her sudden decision to bring back Punk,
Nice outfit. Who are you supposed to be, Cyndi Lauper?
she returns home. Bored to tears with whatever tape was lashed in her stereo, she spots the record that Seymour purchased and finally decides to play the thing, and in the process heads to the sink to start washing the dye out of her hair. Now by the time she is finished, the album has made it to a track by Skip James that I barely have words for. Man, this shit is legit one of the saddest, most broken songs a human being has ever recorded. I'm not that experienced in blues, and I'm sure there's some fucking hipster or two out there rolling their eyes at me right now, thinking of 30 different underground, Delta, and Memphis blues artists that I have no clue of. And yeah, I don't. I'm not a blues guy, okay? So if there's fucking more underground artists out there, then I'm sorry that this movie didn't do it for you. That's not the point to me. The point is, this song is fucking perfect for the movie. It was one thing to have a song in a film that a character can feel something for, and it just speaks to them in a way, and I can see that, I can see it growing in them, but goddamn, the song speaks to me too, as the audience, and I just don't know how they got that lucky. Apparently it speaks to a lot of people. You should check out the damn comments on this thing on YouTube. Now, this is a track that resonates so strong with her. She simply drops everything that she's doing and plays it on repeat. I have been there quite a few times in my life with some songs. I fucking love music. I unhealthily love music. The first thing next Saturday, Enid returns to Seymour's to see if he has any other albums like that.
There are no other records like that.
Now, that's a damn shame.
Actually, I have the original 78 in my collection.
Wow.
Let's be honest though, what she really came back for was Seymour. I'm not saying she loves him. Let's not get unrealistic with it. Now, could an odd crush develop? Sure, probably already is, and she doesn't realize it. I mean, as weird as he is to look at, and as awkward as he is, already to her, he is so much more real of a person than everyone else that she's ever encountered. He just isn't like 99% of other people out there, the exact kind of person she can bond with. But he's still an awkward dork.
Oops, I dropped it!
Jeez.
Lovable though. Now we have another small plot line in all this I kind of skipped over, so let's get that out of the way. Even though I said graduation was like a week back or so, Enid unfortunately didn't actually graduate with Nora. She failed art class of all things, right? She has to go to summer school, and we'll explore this plot a few more times as it builds to its closure, but let's just sum it up because you're not really missing a whole lot. As stated before, Enid actually is the talent here, the real artist. God, even the teacher is fucking cringy with their like old art school film. See, everyone gets praised in this class for their atrocious art as if they're making huge statements, while Enid's work mostly gets written off and passed over as just childish cartooning.
It's my response to the issue of a woman's right to choose. It's something I feel super strongly about.
What the hell, man? Enid is at least attempting to look into the soul of her subjects and express them on paper, while others in the class think a fucking tampon in a teacup is art. Really? Sometime later, Enid and Nora have nothing better to do, so they attend a party at Seymour's. Party at Seymour's? Really? What kind of party would that possibly be?
Yes, and you call them steamed hams despite the fact they are obviously grilled.
You know,
Well, more of an oddball record collector get-together thing, honestly, and he did try to tell her.
I didn't think you would have any interest in this get-together.
We do get some David Cross bits here, though. I forgot he was in this, honestly. And anytime David Cross is in something,
what's the story with the two cheerleaders over there?
other than that one shitty mission in Grand Theft Auto,
CJ, bogey's at 12 o'clock.
I'm fucking happy. I love the guy. Never nude.
Do these effectively hide my thunder?
Yeah, you're right about that.
And what this scene is really for, however, though, is just to give Enid and Seymour some more alone time together, to get to know one another. And Seymour actually takes her into his special room where he keeps all of his records, his good records.
Are all these records?
Yeah, I've got about 1,578 at this point.
Now, she even makes it her own personal mission here to find him a real date, although her choice of words is a little more colorful.
By the end of this summer, you're gonna be up to your neck in pussy.
Jesus.
Why does she care so much? What is her motivation?
What about her? Would you go out with her?
You think Seymour's like just a toy to her? I want to lean on a little bit and say yeah, but there's a part of me that actually thinks she really does find something about him that she doesn't want to toy with. Sometime later, out women hunting, I just wanted to drop this one little scene in here as casually as the movie did.
Hi, Norman.
Now I like this next scene too, which brings some of the comic relief I've mentioned but haven't really shown. She takes Seymour to the gas station to be like, hey Josh, look what I got. Because, you know, she's a fucking dick, right?
This is my friend, Seymour. Okay.
This fucking manager, though.
Josh, what you goddamn doing?
Josh, what you goddamn doing?
Clean up that fucking mess!
Man, him and the karate guy are fucking hilarious, and they are just welcome bits of comedy in this movie. Still woman hunting, I suppose. Enid gets distracted when they pass by the adult store that she's never been into, and begs Seymour to escort her inside. All this time that we spend with just Enid and Seymour walking around, talking, getting to know one another, it's just so fucking enjoyable. It's real.
Oh my god, look at all these creeps.
Hey, shh.
I mean, they're ages apart, sure, but there is some strange connection here. Seymour isn't even giving a hint of falling in love or anything ridiculously creepy like that, so, you know, you can't find it that uncomfortable. A lot of bad indie flicks would have already ruined this idea. They would have had him pining for her from the minute that she stepped into his life, and that would have made him pathetic and us not like him as much. This movie was smart enough not to do that. Loaning her some money for something that she spots in the store, the next scene continues to drive the plot when she shows up at Nora's job wearing it. Yeah, see, apparently so much time has passed already that Nora has found a job, apparently has been trained at it already, and is up there running the damn thing all by herself. So she's moving ahead in life like I planned, and Enid's just sitting over here jerking off. I mean, the maturity levels of each of these characters are showing. The threads of their friendship still separating, but still the movie has time to throw little bits of comedy your way.
Excuse me. I can't read the trivia question.
Now, returning home that night, feeling shitty enough, Enid finds her long single father has started dating again. Now, this is a woman that he's apparently dated before when she was younger and split with, and it's not her mother. We don't ever actually see Enid's real mother.
I can't help but feel I had some small part in how you turned out.
You see, the movie constantly hammers you with shit like this. It's like, I realized that Enid is a Jenga tower, and constantly in this movie there's a piece of her being taken out. And sometimes being put back on top to weigh the rest of her down. Sometimes the fucking thing is just taken out. You know, just when you're feeling bad for Enid, or maybe not, thinking like she brought all this shit on herself, which she so often does, the movie piles on even more depressing shit. That will almost never stop. Now, that doesn't mean this film is depressing, let's be clear. I'm just saying it's accurate to say that sometimes this movie portrays adolescence better than adolescence itself. And we get another art school scene too, where Enid's drawings are passed over in favor of pure shit, and then later Nora and Enid are having lunch together, each trying to pretend that they're not growing apart, but they both know it's coming one way or the other.
One guy over there gives me like a total boner.
You guys up for some reggae tonight?
Getting back to what makes the film the best, though, is the next few scenes. Seymour and Enid are in the car heading to a bar because they're getting ready to watch a true blues legend play. Now, along the way, we learn that even Seymour can get frustrated at things.
What, are we in slow motion here? Come on, what are you, hypnotized? Have some more kids, why don't you?
That's a great reveal, because all this time we know the dude's been carrying around some tension and some shit up in his shoulders. You know, it's good to see him let some of that out and make him a little more on our level. Now, at the bar, no one is giving a shit about this legit blues man of the day other than Enid and Seymour. It's pretty fucking depressing. And here, just the ugliness of commercialism, shitty music, and the dumbassness of the simple-minded just come out full force. Now, true to her word, Enid actually finds him a date, here and now of all places.
That was great music, huh?
Yeah, I just love blues.
Actually...
Yeah, he's that fucking guy.
Technically, what he was mostly playing would more accurately be classified in the ragtime idiom.
If you like authentic blues, you really gotta check out Blues Hammer. They're so great.
Oh, this is the widest worst performance ever of like a blues hit. The lyrics and everything, but that's why this works so well. This song is so fucking atrociously bad, it is supposed to get under your skin, and boy does it. Oh, she found the beat at that. Like, when that lyric came out is when her body started to fucking move. Oh, don't worry, I'll never move again. That lyric, really? Again, it's supposed to make you feel this way, though, but it does its job a little too well. On the ride home, Seymour says one of the most powerful lines of the film to me. It rang true 20 years ago, and it fucking rings true today.
I can't relate to 99% of humanity.
Back at Seymour's house, you know, I told you the movie just won't stop throwing depressing shit at you?
What is this, Seymour?
We'll get ready for some more.
What are you, a Klansman or something?
Yeah, I'm a Klansman.
Seymour used to be assistant manager at corporate headquarters for a place called Cook's Chicken, which apparently when it was initially formed back in the early 20s, it was called Coon Chicken? Ooh. I guess he stole this thing from work back in the day, being genuinely intrigued by this dark part of history. He's held on to it for all these years, and suddenly Enid knows exactly what she's gonna do with it. Now, back in class, I can't help but wonder if Enid is trying to get a quick A, just riding on her teacher's expected response to this kind of found art. Is she being a smartass and seeing how far across the line she can go? I don't know, but given the chance to explain, she does so kind of half-assed, so I think she was just lazy and didn't want to do her homework, honestly. What's unexpected, however, is that the teacher likes it. She thinks it's fucking brave, just like she does with all this other misguided art. Still making room for jokes and growth, we next find Enid has actually gotten a job at a movie theater.
After about 5 minutes of this movie, you're gonna wish you had 10 beers.
She's like a fucking female comic book guy with her biting sarcasm.
Worst movie ever! And sinned!
Do you not know that for a mere 25 cents more, you could purchase a large beverage? Medium is really only for suckers who don't know the concept of value.
What are you talking about? I mean, what kind of loser gets fired after one day?
The kind who intended to, that's who. She had no fucking plans on staying at that job, that was obvious.
Look, I told you the manager was a total asshole.
See, even though the two are growing apart, there's a genuine attempt on Nora's behalf to keep the friendship going, something you don't see coming from Enid.
I'll get another job. Besides, I have some ideas to make money in the meantime.
They've had these plans since middle school that they want to get their own apartment together after graduation, and this is part of the reason that Nora is so irritated at Enid for getting fired. She has no source of income, so to try and account for that, she intends to have a yard sale, but she just finds herself unable to let go of half of her possessions because she's scared they're going to go to some doucher that she doesn't like and isn't going to appreciate it the way she did.
That's a mistake. I'm not selling it.
She's honestly kind of a bitch.
Why do you want it? I mean, it would look stupid on you anyway.
God, fuck you.
I mean, you should start disliking her now if you ever did like her by this point. But it's hard, because is she just towing the line of being a bad person? Is she just immature and doesn't know any better? I don't know. Sometimes I think this girl just really is socially awkward herself, and she's going to have to go through a few more things like this in her life herself till she gets the bigger picture. We all did. And after the sale ends, Nora asks her if she still wants to do something, but apparently tonight is Seymour's birthday and she wants to make him a cake.
Do you still want to go shopping tomorrow?
Yeah, I guess. Call me.
See, Nora's really picking up on the distance here. Enid, however, is oblivious. It's kind of like the your friend got a girlfriend thing, you know? They're suddenly not there as much, and they don't realize it, and they're not even being malicious about it, but you can't help but pick up on the emptiness all around you. Now, Seymour is genuinely interesting to her. She really does care about him in some way or another, and Nora is an outsider to it. She's not really judging, as I said earlier. She's just becoming more aware of it and how fast it's all happening, preparing for it. Now, the birthday party isn't really a party. It's just the two of them, but it's the thought that counts. Something else quite interesting happens here, however.
Aren't you gonna get that?
Let the machine get it. I have no desire to talk to anyone who might be calling me.
Goddamn, who knew like 20, 30 years later this fucking sentiment would be so true, especially to anybody that owns a cell phone.
Hi, I'm calling for...
This time, though, it really is the woman that Seymour saw.
Well, I'm the blonde in the yellow dress. I think I...
Now, there's a lot to break down here. Or maybe not. Maybe I might be getting a little too Charlie Kaufman adaptation with this shit. I get heavily into this film. Like, I feel like I'm in the fucking film. so maybe I need to just relax. I'm just saying that Enid doesn't really bat an eye about this. And why should she? This bumps up her curiosity, in fact. Seymour, on the other hand, doesn't want to be embarrassed because he doesn't know that Enid knows about the date since she's the one who called, obviously. So he's trying to stave off embarrassment, explaining what the hell the phone call's about, much less answer it, agree to a date, and then get burned again. He's ready to delete the fucking message before the thing even finishes. Enid, playing dumb, however, encourages Seymour to take the plunge, and we cut to sometime later with Nora and Enid shopping for their new apartment. Hell, even here, Nora is trying harder than she should to keep things in their favor.
I can't imagine spending money on plastic cups.
You don't have to, you know? I mean, I'll pay for everything now, and you can pay me back when you finally get a job.
You're insane.
She's trying to salvage the friendship, offering to pay for things up front and that Enid can repay her later. Doing everything she can to make sure that the ball is rolling, even if Enid's isn't. And as much as she has tried up until this point, Enid's response to if they're still gonna hang out tonight just says it all.
Actually, Seymour's big date is tonight, and I kind of want to be around when he calls.
See, that's the breaking point, right there.
God, I'm so sick of Seymour.
Now, the next cut is quite surprising as Seymour is having dinner with Dana, the woman from the ad. So fucking great. We didn't need to waste time actually seeing her get called by him and make things even more uncomfortable. This is kind of what I like about the movie. We know enough about Seymour by this point. We know that Seymour has confidence and he knows his own limits. That is the plus. This allows us to take the story that much further by the end since it's one more thing on the pile of shit that Enid has been eating. Now, Enid calls Seymour, but still mid-date, he's not ready to explain this friendship to Dana and lies his way off the phone. Now her plans are blown, and she thinks, well, this will be a good time to go hang out with Nora, so she calls her. Yeah, the pajamas say it all. You can only write your friends off so many times before you become the one being written off. And she fucking deserves it in all honesty. Now, an unknown amount of time later, Seymour is eating at a restaurant when Enid stops by to ask him why he's been avoiding her. She's jealous of Dana. Like, severely jealous.
Are you trying to get rid of me?
No. It's just that I should be going in a few minutes and...
It's not even because she loves Seymour, it's because Dana's replacing her. And she must know there's no explaining a friendship between the two so easily to Dana, and that precisely is what Seymour's been trying to avoid. Can't blame him. And Dana herself, unfortunately, shows up as well, making things way more awkward.
Really was great to meet you.
Enid is clearly resentful of it, and her life continues to spiral in an unknown direction as we next find her art teacher has decided to submit the chicken painting to a student gallery, hoping she's gonna win Enid a scholarship. What? God, how does she not know that it's a terrible fucking idea? But there's also a part of me that thinks she secretly hates Enid and she wants to sabotage her. But honestly, she's just a fucking clueless teacher, so. And also proving my point of her wanting to get fired earlier, when her father comes into her room a little later, telling her that his girlfriend has a job for her, she fucking doesn't want anything to do with it because she's lazy. And as expected, at the gallery, people have complained about the painting, leaving the teacher sitting there trying to defend it like an idiot. And Enid isn't even there. She's running late trying to get Seymour to be her date to the damn show.
I don't think I should.
Of course you should. I'm already a million hours late. Come on.
I don't understand why. What's the point? It's like when she brought Seymour to see Josh just to get a shock reaction out of him. Why would she want to take Seymour to the art show and say, hey, look what I did? Because she's just that kind of person, I guess. I hate her more and more as I go through this movie.
Okay, well, forget the art show. Let's do something else then.
But you know what? I like that. It's refreshing. It's refreshing to not always like your main character. It's refreshing to see them make mistakes and do bad shit. Maybe they'll grow from it. Maybe they won't.
You know, Dana just got out of a really bad relationship, and I don't want her to have the wrong idea.
Nora might be one of the most believable characters I've ever seen in a movie. Great fucking job, Thora Birch, on bringing her to life. I mean, you killed it. Now, Seymour makes it pretty clear that he doesn't want to give Dana the wrong idea, stating the obvious, which Enid can't wrap her fucking head around. Now, walking for who knows how long, she finds her way to the bench with good old Norman sitting on it, who has, in a moment's notice, become her rock in Seymour's departure.
You're like the only person in this world that I can count on. Because no matter what, I know you'll always be here.
Yeah, with a line like that, though, you know there's going to be some payoff.
Well, that's what you think.
And giving it whatever they have left, Enid and Nora find themselves looking at yet another apartment, but in a matter of moments, that all just breaks down.
You've totally ignored me ever since high school ended.
You're the one who's still living out some stupid 7th grade fantasy. Your own apartment.
Fuck you.
Now, adding another layer onto her shit cake, her dad has decided to now marry his girlfriend. She finds out that due to the art show project causing such a stir, she's now failed her summer school art class and thus lost the scholarship. Now with nowhere to go, nowhere to turn, she heads to Seymour's, busts open a bottle of champagne Dana was saving and just kills it. Now as much as you think things are probably gonna get awkward here, I don't think they do. It's like you expect this, you know where it's going. And best of all, you know like everything else is probably gonna blow up in her face. She asks him flat out whether she means it or not, who knows.
How come in all that time I was trying to get you a date, you never asked me out?
And she even reveals a very important detail, her fantasy, or her long-lost fantasy. It's not weird.
I used to think about one day, just not telling anyone, going off to some random place.
Probably just drunk, Enid fills his head with this silly idea of her moving in and taking care of the place. Cutting the crap though, she gets drunk. I want to be appalled by this. I want to be disgusted by this 50-plus-year-old, 18-year-old relationship. And in theory I am, but in practice, this movie has somehow made this outcome palatable. It's made it expected. There's no reason to be creeped out by it because, as I said, all throughout the film, Seymour has genuinely been a good guy. He hasn't even been a creep or anything. You just want to see him get a little bit of happiness just once in his life. Even if it is with Enid.
Did you mean all that stuff about moving in with me?
I should also make a note here that there's not a whole lot of movie left. It just fucking flies by like everything else. It's hard to condense all this when it's so character-centered, so. This is where the Jenga tower is going to fall, basically, if she doesn't stop having pieces removed. Now, truthful or not, Enid's words must have meant something to him, and he even tries to do the right thing, breaking up with Dana, who I don't think he was really vibing with anyway. He was just with her out of desperation. He leaves a message on Enid's phone with a bit of hopefulness in his voice, but it just seems like everywhere she goes, she fucks everything up. Now, she tries to repair her friendship with Nora, but by this point, Nora's had enough. And Seymour's now roommate offers him some encouraging words, knowing he's brooding over her.
Maybe she got another boyfriend.
Yeah, well, thanks for cheering me up.
Sitting around waiting on her to call is torture enough, sure, but when he gets a phone call from his previous boss, and he gets called in, and this is thrown down on the table in front of him...
What can you tell me about this, Seymour?
Yeah, he probably realizes now that she was not the right person for him. She was just trouble. Now, avoiding Seymour, and with Nora giving her a last chance, we find the two girls moving in together as planned, and later that night, when Enid is packing up her stuff, holding the computer station shirt in her hands, preparing to take the job, she just looks defeated, and she looks like she didn't give two shits about this. Seymour, having had enough, gets Enid's new address from her stepmom and heads over to the apartment, finding Nora, and the two have a very awkward exchange. Showing her some of Enid's sketches, Seymour is humiliated, pissed off, and in a rage, he drives over to the store that Josh works at, giving us yet another reason for Karate Guy and the manager to show up.
Here, is that funny?
Get the hell out of my store! Alright, hey, no need to get violent.
Man, Karate Guy just chokes out poor Seymour, so he's like actually protecting the store, but the fucking owner of the store still has it out for him, and they get into a scuffle about it. Now, Seymour ends up in the hospital, and when Enid comes to visit him, he shows her the notebook.
Such a stupid idiot. Did you even look through the rest of the book?
Now, to her credit, the rest really is filled with things that he wasn't expecting, and he probably should have looked at before he made a big deal out of it. There's just sweet moments and memories, and the celebration of Seymour himself, so you at least know all along now that she wasn't just fucking with him. She really did have some sort of feelings for him, and that makes you feel a little better about it all. So where does this leave us? Uncomfortably numb, I'd say. Taking a final walk through the streets that night, Enid spots her rock in the distance. Only this time, even he's gone. I just love this scene so much. Norman is like the myth in all this to me. The unknown, the chance. The fact that the bus finally came for him. Even if it was nothing more than the city adding the damn thing back onto the register like after all these years. It has a higher purpose in the film to me. Says something. We even feel it in our bones that Enid is going to get on that bus too. It's obvious. Now, Seymour resumes therapy, which at least tells us that he's going to be okay, no worse for the wear, and as expected, the bus arrives, fulfilling Enid's long-lost fantasy, and off into the night she goes before her tower falls completely. But you know what? If it does, she's just going to build the fucking thing again. If you ask me honestly, wherever Enid ends up, she's going to pull the exact same shit again. She's going to go find another Seymour, and she's just going to make the same mistake over and over and over until she herself is as old and forgotten and remorseful as Seymour. Whether that makes you happy or sad, I don't know. This movie makes you happy, and it makes you sad. Or it makes me happy, and it makes me sad. It's fucking all over the place. but every time I put this movie in, I get absolutely sucked up into it. I just sit like this. You know, just fucking watching the thing, hanging on to every moment. And unfortunately, there's a ton of things I missed out on in this, I skipped on. I just don't have the time to sit here and pinpoint every little thing about it, you know, but hopefully I gave you some thoughts into why this movie means a lot to me. I think it means a lot to me because it's proof that things don't always work out right. There's not always going to be a happy ending. You don't always have all the answers. Not everybody's going to like you, and you're not always going to like everybody. There's just something, there's some message that you can take away no matter who you are, no matter what you are when you watch this movie. You know, if you're that weirdo who doesn't get along with people, if you have great relations with people and you're not full of social anxiety, there's always an angle that this movie is approachable from where you can walk away having learned something or at least having been entertained by it. And what more can you ask for from a movie these days, huh? Thanks for watching.